Good food is not everything when it comes to health, but without it, everything is nothing. Welcome to our show, Kitchen Treasures. In our show, you will discover that there are lots and lots of treasures in our kitchen. Treasures that can prevent you from diseases and treasures that can actually reverse diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and many other degenerative diseases. And these treasures are so simple, you could easily get them from fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains. The treasures are so simple. These are the vitamins and the minerals, phytochemicals and antioxidants and carbohydrate-rich food and good quality protein. And of course, good quality fat. Today, our show is so special because we will be presenting to you the indigenous vegetable. And one of the indigenous vegetables that is so, endangered right now is Lagikway. I'd like to ask one of the crew members here to help me explain Lagikway and how we wish we can propagate Lagikway in the Asia Pacific. Come here, Kirby. Kirby here is so interested in planting. You have the talent,
Yes.
Right, Kirby?
Yes, in planting.
Yeah, and he is so talented when it comes to the, technicality here in the Hcbn. But I'm so happy that you're also interested in food
Yeah.
and in planting. So
Yeah.
what we have here is the planting stalk of Lagikway, huh?
This is a portion of Lagikway actually. Just before we discuss about the eating of Lagikway, this is a portion of the plant Lagikway. This is actually the upper portion, which is young stem. This one is an old stem. So, as you can see, by planting it to propagate, you can actually choose between one of the two.
So, meaning both of them can really grow healthy Lagikway.
Yes.
Okay.
But for those who are not so, abundant in water, you need to plant the younger one because the younger one can easily adopt than the old one because the old one has dry and the young one has a lot of water is stored in them. So, in planting them, it's so easy. It's like the same as malunggay, the horseradish tree, or some others like the same family as the
Talbos ng kamote.
talbos ng kamote and
Talbos ng
kamoting
kamote
kahoy,
is
the
also-
same things like.
But
So,
Kirby, I have a problem here. If I plant this one, I know that it must be like this, right? Because I can see the
Yes,
leaves.
the leaves.
But I'm not really a good planter, a good farmer. And if I see this kind of thing, how can I plant? Is this one or like that?
yeah. Okay, you can easily identify actually. You can, if the camera can focus this has the portion which you can actually see the bud in here. If the leaves, you can actually see the leaves. In the leaves, they have what we call the twig of the leaves, and then the bud is at the top. So,
There's actually sprouting.
yes,
in that
sprouting
one.
in this area, so you
So
can.
it's going up like that, huh?
Yes. So that is the
that's
portion.
actually the hint.
Yeah.
That's actually that if you see there is, sprouting like that,
So
it must really be...
And if you are still doubting, you can ask the farmers. They are really tough in planting this kind of plant. Actually, in the mountains where I was as a missionary, I found this as fence on their houses, and you can actually see this common in the community.
Actually, Lagikway can be also an ornamental plant, yeah?
Yes.
So it can be an ornamental plant at the same time a vegetable. You can plant this in a pot, and then you can
Yes.
put this inside your...
Inside the house.
The house.
Because even though it's not, it's not abundant in light, that it's still growing. But much better if you can expose it more in the sunlight. That it needs to reproduce more chlorophyll for our good health. When we eat this.
You know what? The first time I had this Lagikway, that was around 7 years ago, when a friend of mine, Dr. Welty Estrada from the Adventist University of the Philippines gave us just one stalk, and it so happened that we don't have, you know, ground to plant the Lagikway. So what I did is actually I just placed it on a flower base with water, and later on I discovered there are lots and lots of roots, and it can actually survive even in
That's
water,
it.
just in plain water.
That's it. So this is how simple it is how to plant. That is just as simple as like A, B, C. So simple.
So meaning if I plant this one, I will be expecting that later on there might branch here, it might branch here, or branch there and here, right?
That's so expect. We are going to expect that.
So
those
we can
things
have
will happen.
we can expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6. Yeah.
six
And
branches.
then after that, the moment you see the buds are really growing and it's really fast, you know. And when you see them, if you cut the portion of them,
Yeah, like this one, if I cut like this.
yeah, some portion of the bud in the place where it has leaves will also release some new buds.
So if I cut here, like, you know, if I cut like this here,
yeah.
so it will.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. Yeah.
So there. So it will grow a new bud here and here.
And here
so that's
also.
It. Yes.
Yeah, and maybe 3 of them here.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the principle. As long as there is something like a leaves in here, the buds will come out of the closest to the portion of the leaves.
So those of you who are really interested to inspect your area, maybe you can have, you have seen this kind of vegetable and you just considered it wild. I think we can focus the camera here in the leaves. And actually there are
several shapes.
Yeah, this is actually the young leaves, but this is the matured leaves.
Yes, yes.
When it becomes matured,
it
becomes like 5 finger.
Yeah,
but if it is young,
thinner.
It is young, sometimes you can just see 3 fingers.
Yeah.
So this one is another 3 finger, but it's very young leaf.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you are into observing the healthy leaves, sometimes there are some spots that can develop in the leaves. Maybe this one lacks sunshine.
Yeah. And sometimes it's already in the time with which it grows old. But what you just need of this kind of plant is that a amount of water for them to survive. But even though in summertime they still survive.
And the good thing for this is it can even grow tall.
Yes.
Yeah. If it grows tall, all you have to do is just cut again,
yes.
cut in the planting portion, and you can plant like
reproduce
good intervals until finally you can have a perfect fence like Lagikway. Okay? It's a fence like it's a Lagikway fence. Okay?
Yes.
So it's actually a good idea. But maybe if you will be turning it into fence, you better look for this kind of thing.
Yeah. But all throughout the years, you can actually grow them, and you can really see bigger than this. Yeah. So when you plant it as a fence, it will grow as bigger than this, or they easily live in the tropical.
What I have observed in my Lagikway, sometimes if it is really so matured, it cannot produce good enough, good number of leaves. So you have to
cut some portions.
Cut and then replant again.
Yes, replant.
So you have to propagate again from the old plant.
Yes, yes.
And sometimes if the plant is really old, you can see some insect bites. Yeah, so this is actually the favorite of the insects.
Yes.
You could hardly see perfect leaves because it's the I think this is the dessert of the insects.
Yeah, especially those butterflies who are putting some larvae in the leaves.
Yeah. So when you want to plant this one, maybe you can contact us. And right now we have several of the stock. I
Yeah.
think we have 40 right now.
Yes, right now.
And we will be distributing this to Iloilo. And you look for a friend in Iloilo. Maybe you just contact the His Coming Broadcasting Network because we
For
have
Lagikway.
we are able to plant one here at the back of the studio, and it's
Yes, yes,
already,
yes.
you know, it has already lots of leaves. So you better look, and then we are very much happy to share with you.
Yes.
By the way, this is really an endangered species, and even the Bureau of Plant Industry in the Philippines
Great.
is telling us that you could hardly see this kind of vegetable.
Yes.
But we are so interested because this vegetable is really high in chlorophyll, like what we have done right now.
Yes.
So, Kirby, what is your recipe today?
We have actually blanched lagikway. We have boiled it, and then as you can see some you know, slimy portion. It is like it's like a structure of okra. If you notice, there are some slimy, you know, portions of the.
Don't worry, because this is the food of Kirby later.
Yes,
Kirby
yes.
later, so
This is my
he'll
food,
eat this
so-
one.
Yeah, no.
Catching it with your finger.
Yeah, and then you can easily mix it with tomato, or mix it with some few. Those of you who like to eat onions, you can put some onions here, and some
Or
few.
calamansi.
Yeah, calamansi.
Okay, so soy sauce and calamansi is
Lemon.
really best.
Yes, and so we are also using a amino, liquid aminos.
So we can
And
put right
yes,
now
we are
the-
putting it here. And then as we put it right here, you know, the taste is so good. I will taste it later. And then you can put some olive oil. You know, olive oil is the, you
That's
know,
extra virgin,
yeah,
huh?
extra virgin olive oil. And it, you know, for those dietitians and microbiologists, what I mean is biochemists, they understand that those vitamins that we can find here are also, oil is helping to digest those.
Yeah. We call it fat-soluble vitamins.
Yes.
And these are the basic vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K.
So that's
These
it.
are fat-soluble vitamins.
That's
The
it.
body can only recognize this with fat. But we want the healthy fat. We
Yeah.
don't want the frying and the, you know, the trans fat.
Yeah, trans fat.
It's overheated oil.
Yes.
So Kirby is now putting the oil.
Yeah, so can put 1 tablespoon or lesser than that.
And when we do that, it doesn't add to the nutritional value
Yeah.
of the good oil, but it also adds taste. You know, it
Yes.
adds flavors actually.
Add flavor.
Fat is really palatable.
Yeah.
So we
that's
can
it.
add fat here. Or some of you who are using the virgin coconut oil is good also.
Yes,
So you can put coconut oil on top.
Yeah.
Okay? But you don't need to cook it.
Yes, you don't need to cook it.
You know what I like here, Curb, is because this one has a really good amount of chlorophyll, and you can see the
Yes.
color doesn't change.
Yes, it doesn't change like in the
Yeah.
like the other kind of you know, when we boil them, it changed like a
Yeah.
pale green or you
Or
know,
brown.
brown. And here we can also add some more ingredients like
Yeah.
beans and some other peas. Like we have here what's this?
The white beans.
White beans.
Boiled white beans. And to enhance.
Yeah, to enhance the taste.
And
of-
the nutritional value, of
nutritional
course,
value.
because this one has good amount
yes,
of protein.
Yes.
And fiber, of course.
Yes. So this is some ways of revising our food. So if you're like so busy, you just need to boil it, or boil ahead of time the beans, and then later on, after you had boiled the lagikway, you can just mix up.
Yeah.
So simple.
So like salad, huh?
Yes.
Like salad. You can keep your beans in your freezer and then just throw it, or just, you know, make it a little bit hot. You have to reheat it,
Yes.
and then you can mix together.
Yeah.
Or you can turn this into soup,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Turning into soup is you have to put your water. Maybe you can saute it with garlic and water and onions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some
Then put
reminders
some
in putting,
water.
sometimes because we have some misunderstanding about putting oil. Some reminders of putting oil while it is hot. When it's hot, you know, the oil is getting cooked. So we don't want the oil being cooked, because when you cook the oil, there are some oxidations happening, you know. So in that case, you need to do some, put the oil when it's almost lukewarm, or not that warm actually. That's
Or if you don't want to put oil in here, you could either put part of your salad, Lagikway, is
Yeah.
avocado. Yeah?
Oh, yes,
So you can
that's
just
it.
slice your ripe avocado,
Yeah.
and then no more virgin coconut oil, no more
Yeah. Brag.
extra virgin,
Virgin
olive,
olive oil, yes.
And don't put them together, and then
Yeah.
you just slice your avocado here, and that serves as your fat.
Yes. Mom, I would like to ask one question. Is it avocado is good for mixing with the vegetables? How
If
you
it
think?
is just for the purpose of fat, yeah, you can do it, but
Yes.
it's just small amount.
Yeah.
Small amount just for the fat purposes. Or the best way, I love putting coconut grated.
Yes,
Yeah?
so that's it.
So instead of this thing, you know, olive oil and virgin coconut oil, you put coconut grated fresh. That is actually the best virgin coconut
Yes.
oil. Or sometimes you can just have your nuts. Maybe bigger serving than the usual,
Yes.
and that can actually serve as your fat in this
Yes,
kind of
yes.
recipe.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, Kerb, this one, we can cook this also
With
with mongo, right?
yes, with mongo and with green peas and all the every kinds of peas or beans you can find in your kitchen. You can cook it with lagikway.
Lagikway. And the lagikway can actually be part of your lauoy.
Yes, can be.
Ilonggo's favorite.
I
Laswa.
remember. Yeah, I remember we mix it with okra and
Kalabasa.
basa. Yes, and it's really slimy, you know, because of the slimy structure of this kind of.
I don't have problem with slimy thing.
Yeah.
So you know the okra, that's my favorite.
Yeah,
Those
it's
of
nice.
you are little bit so sensitive, you hate the taste. We are challenging. You will really love it. Just try it, huh?
Yes.
Just try it. And
So-
we're so happy because how we wish we can propagate Lagikway right now. We have started distributing around 70 stocks for plantation here in Iloilo. And we are expecting that maybe, how I wish,
Yes.
how I wish 50% of this stocks of this planting Lagikway would really grow tall, and later on, these people who have received the Lagikway would also share a piece of stock or a piece of this plant so that you too can also propagate.
Mom, I
this.
have some question. Why can't we use the fats of the animals in this kind of?
Yeah, we don't
food?
want really animal fats and oils because the amount of fat is really excessive. And the amount of fat is the undesirable, which is saturated, and it really carries cholesterol.
Yeah.
Okay? And especially if you hit this kind of fat,
Yeah.
the more it becomes so dangerous.
Yes.
Now, we would like to challenge our viewers right now that, you know, I love to compare. Huh? Now, this one
Okay.
we keep on promoting, right?
Yes,
But people
yes.
right now watching us would rather say, oh, we would rather eat pork and ham because it's delicious, and people say it's nutritious. But actually comparing the nutritional value, huh?
Yes.
Hey, viewers, look at the slide. Your pork, when it comes to beta-carotene and when it comes to calcium, it's so small. It's only 30 microgram, and calcium is only 14 milligrams. And those of you eating shrimp, hey, it's only 10 and 76. But when you compare it with Lagikway, hey, it's really high. Look, the Lagikway.
Yes.
It has. Kirby, can you read that one?
Lagikway has about 8,385.
That's so huge. So that
So
is
much.
1,000 times. Huh?
Yes,
1,000
1,000
times
times.
comparing it to your animal products.
And those who are having fear of getting osteoporosis, they can eat lagikway much more because it has 368.
Correct. like.
Neglect.
That's the good news
Calcium.
for you, huh?
Yes.
It's really high in calcium, high in, by the way, it's just beta-carotene and calcium. We
Yeah.
haven't compared yet some of the nutritional value
Yes.
like fiber. You can
Yes.
get both the soluble and insoluble fiber here.
Yes.
But when you eat your pork and shrimp, zero when it
Oh,
comes to fiber.
So great. And you can also actually juice Lagikway.
Really, huh?
Yes.
I haven't tried
the
that.
taste is like malunggay.
Yeah.
But
But it's slimy.
It's slimy, and you know the taste of chlorophyll.
Yeah.
That's almost, they have almost the same taste. The taste of chlorophyll from malunggay, and you know the taste of some other like kamote leaves and some other. You can actually differentiate. They have different scent, but the taste is almost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to juice Lagikway,
I would do that,
you would,
okay? I'll
you
do
would,
that.
You would try first the malunggay and the kamote leaves.
But I want to put some flavor in my lagikoy. Maybe I can put a little of my pineapple just for the flavor.
Yeah. So
But this one, I love this kind of cookery.
yes.
Now, if you are planning to, this one is blanch, right?
Yes, blanch.
But if you are planning really to salad, you know,
Yes.
uncooked, raw,
yes.
maybe you can just use the young leaves.
Young leaves, the
And
tip.
then you can wash carefully.
Yes.
And then slice it thinly.
Yes.
And that can be your raw salad.
It's so nice.
So the same thing, you can put your tomatoes.
Yes, and don't forget that the vitamins we can find here are fat soluble vitamins, and so you can put a little olive oil or some beans mixed with it, or that's it.
And those of you who are not
Nuts.
adding the oil, yeah, maybe some of your food or dishes
Yes.
have oil. So no worry.
No
You don't
worry,
need
yeah.
to put oil here if you have already your fried tofu,
Yes.
for example.
Yes,
Or if
for
you have
example.
sauteed other dish, you don't need to worry of
Yes.
adding fat.
Oh, that's
so
it.
that's actually a very good idea. I'm imagining, Curb, that later on how we wish we can see some places here
Yes.
in the Philippines that have good, good Lagikway
Yes.
fences.
Farm. Lagikway, yeah.
farm.
Lagikway plantation.
And we encourage people to really search for this Lagikway.
Yes.
Yeah, and how we wish that the farmers can actually help us, because some people are not really that talented when it comes to planting. We encourage those people who have green thumb. You participate or contribute your time to planting indigenous vegetables and fruits, because it is actually the basic goal of this program.
Yes.
We will be sharing with you some of the information on the foods that are high in nutrients, high in vitamins and minerals later on in our show. But this time, we would like really to shout to the whole Philippines, go search for
The
your
Lagikway.
Lagikway and plant your
Plant
Lagikway.
Lagikway.
And then you can even help other people.
Yes, to know it. Distribute, because distribute some plant of Lagikway after you have planted some. Because when you help them, they can actually not help just for one time, but you can help them for the rest of their lives, because you can see the Lagikway growing every day, and if they get it, actually you can harvest Lagikway once in every 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to grow.
And how we wish we can just tell you that we want you to plant. It's just like a fisherman, you're giving fish to people, but we want you to learn how to fish.
How to
That's
fish.
the same way with
Yes.
Lagikway. We want you to plant,
Learn how to plant.
not just asking all the time your leafy vegetables, like you keep on asking malunggay to your kapit
Yes,
bahay. And we want that you too can also plant. And when you do that, you will really have the chance to share this also to other people. At the same time,
Yes.
this can lower your budget in food.
Yes.
Yeah, this can save a lot when it comes to your groceries expenses.
Yes.
And at the same time, this can actually lower down your possibility for sickness.
Yes. And one more thing, when you plant this, you sometimes notice most of the farmers has some low depression because they are planting. You know, when you plant, it somehow release some stresses in your system.
So meaning that makes you happy.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what?
Happy hormone.
According to the experts, planting is the best exercise.
That's it.
So when you plant, you're not just planting, but you're also doing some exercise.
Yes. You sweat and you are also having some sunlight.
And you're touching the nature. Once you
Yes.
touch the nature, there is actually healing when it comes to healing emotionally, because that can actually lessen your
Yes.
load and your stresses.
Yes, that's it.
So, again, friends, how we wish we can really hand it to you personally. But it's quite impossible for us to do that.
Yes.
And we are trying our best here to propagate Lagikway, but we can only achieve this goal if listeners, viewers watching our show would actually help us, okay, in this propagation.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
So thank you very much, Kirby.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm sure you will be planting. I'll be giving you
Lagikway.
5 stalks.
Yes,
so
that's
you'll
good.
have 5 trees here in Iloilo.
Yes, we will be.
And by the way, this one comes from Antipolo.
Wow.
So we flew this vegetable, these stalks, around 70 stalks. And we will be planting this here in Iloilo.
So great.
So thank you very much again, Kirby, and
Thank
I
you.
hope that you will help us again in our next show.
Yes.
You know what? Good food, friends, when it comes to health, is not everything, but
Yes.
without it, everything is nothing. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us, and I hope and pray that all of us will work hand in hand when it comes to promotion of indigenous vegetable. Thank you very much, and God bless us all. Thank you, Kirby.